The police called me at work and said the 5 words every wife dreads. Ma'am, we have your husband. I was standing in the clinic break room holding a yogurt. I actually laughed at first, assuming it was a scam call. Then the officer stated his full name, Daniel, and my knees completely buckled. He's been detained. We're going to need you to come down to the station. Detained for what? I stammered. We can't discuss the details over the phone, ma'am. The line went completely dead. Here's what you need to understand about my husband. Daniel is the human equivalent of a golden retriever. This is a man who traps spiders under a plastic cup and releases them outside with a little pep talk. He once drove 40 minutes back to a gas station because the cashier accidentally gave him $3 extra in change. He literally apologizes to furniture when he bumps into it. Criminals do not knit birthday scarves for their mothers-in-law. As I drove toward the station, my brain kept violently short-circuiting. Anger hit first. What stupid thing could he possibly have done? But Daniel triple checks parking signs. Then the anger curdled into raw fear. Daniel didn't call me himself. He calls me from the grocery store to describe avocados. If he didn't call, it meant he couldn't. I was fully crying by the time I pulled into the precinct parking lot, aggressively picturing visitation glass, orange jumpsuits, and trying to explain to our young daughter why daddy was in prison. I marched into the station, like a woman prepared to burn the entire building down to the foundation. The desk sergeant pointed me toward the holding area before I even finished my sentence. And there he was. My sweet, law-abiding husband was handcuffed to a wooden bench, absolutely covered in thick animal hair, with an enormous German shepherd resting its heavy head on his knee. Daniel, what did you do? I demanded. Okay, he said sheepishly. So technically, this is a rescue gone slightly wrong. The officer at the desk didn't even look up from his computer. Your husband is being charged with property damage and interference with police equipment. Police equipment? I asked. The dog, the German shepherd, was the police equipment. Here is exactly what happened. On his lunch break, Daniel walked past a heavily tinted SUV, baking in the afternoon sun. He saw a dog inside barking frantically and pawing at the glass. There was no owner anywhere in sight. He knocked on nearby shop doors, gave it several minutes, and watched this poor animal seemingly suffer. So, my incredibly sweet, wildly misguided husband picked up a heavy landscaping brick and completely smashed the rear window to save the dog. The SUV was an unmarked K9 police vehicle. The engine was running, and the air conditioning was on full blast. It was actually cooler inside that car than it was out on the sidewalk. And the dog in distress was Rex, a highly trained police K9 doing exactly what he's supposed to do when a stranger approaches his vehicle. Aggressively bark like the world is ending. By the time Rex's handler came out of the sandwich shop 30 seconds later, the dangerous perpetrator was sitting on the curb, apologizing profusely to the dog and sharing his lunch. Rex, an elite crime-fighting animal, had already rolled over for belly rubs. The handler was laughing so hard he could barely get through the official paperwork. They dropped all the charges except the bill for the broken window, which was entirely fair. Daniel shook hands with half the precinct on the way out. My husband is now known around that entire station as the dog napper. The handler literally texts him photo updates of Rex every single week. And Rex, the fearsome police K9, completely falls apart with tail wagging joy whenever he sees Daniel, which the handler swears makes him the absolute worst guard dog in the entire county.